Hello, everybody. It's Justin of Just Fox Media. How y'all doing? It's good to see you this morning. Even though I can't see. We'll just say that I can't. Anyway, let me get my microphone over here a little bit. Okay. But anyway. Really glad to be with you guys once again. Missed last week. I apologize. Okay, I guess I'm here all alone. All by myself. I'm gonna stop. Anyway. So, cool stuff happening right now, guys. I am very much ahead of schedule when it comes to making and finishing a few of these things up. So that's really exciting. But the only thing is that basically the subworld stuff is done, but I'm gonna have to go back over all of it because there's a lot of mistakes that I saw there, and I'm gonna have to just like cover my bases to make sure that everything is actually there that's supposed to be there. So I gotta get my pen and pad out and spend some time on little things like that. So it's fine. Kind of annoying in some ways, but it's this is fine. Okay, so I'm going to put, let's see here. I'll put Harris 1 and okay. So I like it at 10. Well, actually, I like it at 15, probably more. It should probably increase by 5. 20. So anyway, I don't know if I have. Oh, I forget to share things with people. Hold on just a second, guys and gals, cats and kittens, and the Silver Spoon, Little Boy Blue, and Man and Moon. That's sad. That song's so sad. All right. All right. Twitter. Okay. See, as soon as I put that word Christian right there, derails the whole thing. People act like I don't know. But I do. I do. And in some ways that's sad. You know. It's sad because it does say something about how we have represented Christ. No, I'll go back on that. It says something about who we have allowed to represent Christ for the masses. A lot of times we choose to let people who have not had their fruit inspected properly represent Christ. And just happen to have a big personality, we're like, okay, send them. It's like, I was already signed in. We'll do. It looks like it says Keto Mart. There we go. I think that because we allow that to happen often, that as soon as you put a Christian in there or whatever, you know, people are already done. And what a shame too. Like, we got the best thing going in terms of like a deal of salvation. And don't really respect it too much, I don't think. You know? I really don't think that we respect it too much at all. Cause I mean, like, for me, like the deal is such a good deal, right? It's like, I feel like I can't please God ever. It's like, yeah, he's God. Standard is really, really, you know, perfect. He's God. You know, his standard is his own, so therefore, trying to meet his standard his own in terms of omnipotence and omniscience and things like that, it's kind of a dumb thing to try to decide to do to compete with that. But like, then comes the whole grace thing, and people get mad. I'm just like, it's good. It's a really nice deal. It's a really nice deal. So that's where I had to kind of scratch my head on that and be like, huh? Why are we mad? This confusing Christ for dopey friends, and it's like, bruh. Dopey people in the church. You know, there's plenty of dopey people in the church, you know, and that's why I say, you know, about not inspecting fruit. To be like, hey, this is what's going to represent the most important thing in ever, if we believe what we believe, and we let just anybody, you know, put them out there in the front of the world and expect them to, you know, do what they do. And I wish, and I wish that there would be better accountability, so that when I type in Christian, people aren't like, ooh. I don't mind someone saying, ooh, Christian, because of sin nature and things like that. But I like the aspect of being blameless. I don't like that. Like, hey, I didn't do nothing to you. None of that stuff happened. I didn't do nothing to you. I didn't do nothing at all. I am blameless in that the fact that, you know, you hate my guts. That you just don't want to be told what to do. That is a better witness than, no, someone actually did like hurt me. You know? So that's kind of the strength and its weakness, is that, anybody can do it, and then, but at the same time, like, anybody can do it sometimes, Not like, in terms of like some kind of creed to follow or something like that, that's not what Christianity actually is. I find out a lot of people get confused about what Christianity actually is. It's not a collection of decisions that you make. It's something far better and far grander than that. It is life, it's stepping into actual life. It's having an encounter with God, an actual encounter with God, and that changing you into something totally different. Because, like most of the time, what happens is that our Jesus standards are so low, because our self-image is so low, it's kind of like, okay, we go ahead and let sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so go ahead and teach the kids. And it's like, sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so has no depth to them. I don't have any depth to them. So it's like, you gonna let them teach your kid? So when they ask questions like, hey teacher, you said that my that Jesus is my best friend and everything, you know, he's like a superhero, he's Superman, blah 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 blah. Well, how come he didn't save my mom when she died of cancer? You know, like, that's an actual, you're going to give your kid an existential crisis, you know what I'm saying, something happens to him by setting God up to be this buddy pal person. And he's not. And that creates atheism in the first place, because it's like, okay, these two things don't match up, this is bullcrap. It has to be. And they're not wrong. The God that most people present to them in Sunday school or whatever, you know, has nothing to do with who he actually is. So no wonder people are confused, or people see the word Christian, they're like, oh, we're out. Because very few actually represent properly. Then it begs the question of, you know, well, if y'all can't get your stuff together, why are you trying to teach other people? I agree with them. Like, I agree with atheists in a number of different issues. I really actually do. You know? You need God to be a moral person. You need him to exist to have a moral. Objectively. I would say that, but the argument would be, you know, about culture being birthed out of necessity, and that basically it's all hedonism and things like that, you know. But we won't get into all that right now. Not this stream. But I think that, so I would say that, you know, we need a moral lawgiver. But as far as someone following that law, in terms of, you know, just being decent and everything, not perfect, but decent human being, even in the hedonistic kind of way, you know, it's like, okay, you can do that. You know, that is totally a thing to do. No problem. So I agree with stuff like that. I agree that you can have a very happy, long, fulfilling life, for the most part, without the existential stuff, right? You know, I feel you on that, because from an actual biblical position is that God has already created a system for you to flourish in. And most people who are not Christian, actually, well, not most, but a lot of people who are not Christian find out how the system is supposed to work, which is about sowing and reaping. They create a culture that, they teach their children that, and they stay, and they're good. You know? The way that the entirety of the world works is that if you do not sow, you will not reap. Whether it be sowing into people or sowing resources into people or things like that, if you do not sow, you will not reap. So, people figured that out. They sow into people and ideas and invest and make money to make money and things like that, you know. So even if it's like 75 cents, they might sell 25 cents in order to get another 50 cents back, and that's how they do. And they help other people out and things like that. So they're good. So yes, you can have a life and have money and have influence and all those type of things without God. Now, he's the creator, the architect of the system. But as far as, you know, like going to church and things like that, you know, no, you don't have to do all that type of stuff for you to succeed and flourish. No. But for the nuances of life and afterlife, yeah, you totally need God. You know, there is. I remember an interview with Brad Pitt, and it's Brad freaking Pitt. He's got the looks, he's got the money, he's got the. Well, he had the girl, you know. Despite what you may think about her personally. But you know, he had it all, and then he says in an interview that something's missing, and like the interviewer is like, "What? You're Brad Pitt. You're an actual good actor. You have the looks, you got the money. Like he's like, you're Brad Pitt. What could possibly be missing from you?" He's like, "I'm telling you, man. Whatever all this stuff is, this ain't it." And that's his exact quote. "This ain't it." I remember when I actually came to Christ for real. I remember that. I remember that I was looking for something. It was an inexpressible groaning. It's like what I like to call it. What the Bible says about it. It's this inexpressible groaning. Like Harvey Keitel crying in a movie scene. But it's this inexpressible groaning. It's this, there's more. And it wasn't necessarily career. And it wasn't necessarily any of the things I was looking at to actually find it to fulfill me. Now, I was a little church boy, you know what I'm saying? Like I went to church for years. Grew up Christian, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But I didn't believe that there was one way to God. I was like, come on, bro. Come on. And when I submitted and gave my life to Christ, because I just felt as though he was the more. I wanted to try him for the more, if that makes sense. I wanted to try him for the more. And when I did that thing, that inexpressible groaning, that thing I was looking for such a long time, I was agnostic at that point in time. When I gave him a shot, that hole, that whatever that is I was looking for, yeah, that thing got filled, and it's been filled ever since. Now, there have been moments where there's another yearning for more, and that was more about the plan that he has for you and I, you know? But that's a different kind of thing. But as far as like the thing I was searching for or whatever it is, totally filled. And I think that because of that fulfillment, sometimes that Christian can be lazy. Like someone who's not somebody who's going to church or what. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who has been saved, who can talk about that, the time where they truly met Christ, and submitted and repented and all that stuff. That's a different life. And you do things not out of some kind of warped, I don't know. And that's out of some kind of sense of dread. You do things. Oh, here we go. You do things out of a sense of love. Actual love and affection towards the existential idea of who God actually is. You do things not because, but you do things out of love. He changes you. And people express that some through justification, some through grace, and some through, you know what I'm saying, whatever ministry that God's putting on your heart and what you identify with, you know what I'm saying, like that's a thing. But you know, that's a nuance right there. That's a big shift in a person's life. It's a huge shift in a person's life. It's like the thing I was looking for all this time, I actually found it. And I found it in Christ. Like, wow, that's, you know, how do you put that into words necessarily? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad we have a book to actually, you know, help us out here. So That's really something when you think about it. So yes, I agree with atheism about, you know, you don't need necessarily to go to church. I was probably able to put that a better way, because you need God to, you know, sustain everything. He's the architect of everything. But you don't need to go to church, you know what I'm saying, and be dreading your sin all the time, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. You don't need to do all that in order to have a good life. Relatively good life. The other pivot is obviously, you know, what happens to you when you leave this place. You know, obviously that's a thing. And that's a big thing. It's a really big thing. What happens? Does something have to happen? That's the question that we don't know. You know? Our faith and hope is in Christ as believers, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, we don't know. Now, we have a very good idea. You know? We have a very, very good idea based off of the experiences that we're looking at. So I can tell you plenty of stories about how Christ has healed somebody. I mean, my buddy stopped into town last week, got healed. You know? People with skin cancer have been healed. All kinds of crazy stuff. I've seen it. I experienced some of it myself. And it was healed through the name of Jesus. When nothing else worked. So what do we do with that? Well, really, that's just a... Okay, well, we can debate that later. Oh, what the heck? Oh, that's right. But from that, we can have a better idea, at least. That, yeah, there's something going on that is over our heads. And people have been looking at stuff for thousands of years. I don't distrust the Western interpretation of everything all the time. The Native Americans have been looking at things like that for centuries. Go to India, go to wherever. I understand the Enlightenment was born out of necessity to get free of existential ideas and stop freaking out, and for the Catholic Church to stop creating indulgence, blah, 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 blah. I understand all that. But there's stuff out there bigger than us. And it's very true. And sometimes we wrestle against that kind of stuff and we don't even know it. You know what life is really like? It's like Yokai Watch. That's what life is actually more like. Life is a lot like Yokai Watch. That's the closest thing to reality that I've seen yet. Yokai Watch. That's how it really actually goes down. And there's thousands and thousands of those kind of things out there. Like India said, you know, there's like how many hundreds of thousands of gods that are in some of the Hindu religions. I think it's Hindu. I had to forget my ignorance on that part. I don't really know. But yeah, there's like thousands of them. There's stuff out there in the skies. in your room sometimes. You listen to certain music. You know? Certain music as in, you know, what they're saying more than necessarily what they're playing. But music shifts atmospheres, you know. That's why, you know what I'm saying, you hear that slow song, your whole body shifts and moves differently and things like that versus to where you're listening to like metal or something like that, you know. It's like, yep, time to punch things now, you know, so it's different. It's different. Very different. So that's closer to what Yokai Watch actually is. Again, another nuance of life, you know, that we don't really think about. And then there's a nuance of, you know, okay, I have a good life, you know, but again, there's that thirst for the spiritual more. Who am I really? Because much as we want to answer that question, we have an idea of who we are, but it's like, well, who am I really sometimes? You know what I'm saying? It's like, who am I really? I can do all this great stuff, you know, but who am I really? Is this all I'm here to do? I mean, I built this multi-million-dollar to billion-dollar company and everything, you know, but is that who I am? Am I my billion-dollar company? Like, who am I? What am I? I've helped a whole lot of people, and I feel great about that, you know. But is that who I am? Am I giving them who I am versus what I've built? Who am I? See, these little nuances. And God has the key of the answer to those nuanced questions and things like that. The bigger stuff, the stuff that's bigger than us. When I ran to him for the first time, for real. Because, you know, I've been baptized as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Do this, you don't go to hell, yeah. That same old song and dance, you know. I really, yeah, I did want, I like that thirst, that thing just kind of went away, and that's why I've been so crazy about God all this time. It's just like wow, you're really, really real, and this is really, really incredible, and you're really, really great. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it's and that shifts your world right there, dude. Like, do that. That really shifts your world. It's like, oh wow, I had to reevaluate everything. Because, like, my experience with God was like, it was this moment of clarity, this moment of bliss, this moment of all these things, you know, and I was like, wow. Oh, whoops. But it's this moment of, you know, whatever. I was like, oh wow, he's real, right? And then I was like, oh, I gotta figure out whether or not, you know, is this book real? And so I kind of reverse engineered my Christianity. I would identify with God and spend time with him. And then as I was reading the Bible, I was like, oh, you're all up in here. You do all this stuff. You act this way, you behave this way, you whatever this way, you know. And it was really, really cool to see God represented in that way. To where I was finding him in reality and then finding him in the pages of the Bible. That was really, really cool. So, I don't know how I got to this particular rant. But I guess I was just kind of saying that, you know, a lot of times I agree with with atheists about how they view Christianity. You know, and what is necessary versus what is not necessary to have a fulfilled life. And that lets you know exactly what type of teachers that they had. They taught, and they still teach a lot of people that it's all about them. And it ain't. It's like, well, I can have a great life. It's like, well, it ain't about you, though. The Bible calls it dying to self. It's a great way to go ahead and get rid of your ego. It's a great way to do that. It's like, ain't about you. When you look at sin, most of the sin is actually related to selfishness, conceit, and those ideas. That's what mostly sin is attributed to. You being selfish, self-centered butthole. It's like money's evil. It's like, no, it's not. Love of money is evil. More specifically, love of money to spend on yourself, only on yourself, so that you can do the things that you want to do and not give a crap about anybody else. Yeah. You being selfish with money is what God calls greed. Not money itself. So, what do you do with that? But that's why he calls us to die of self. If I'm getting a freaking Sunday school lecture or something like that, you know. But for anybody who is actually, you know, having to listen, I'm very sorry that there was genuine church hurt. I'm very sorry that that actually happened to you. I really, really am. It sucks. Yeah. I'm sorry that actually happened to you. That sucks. I mean, it sucks for a plethora of reasons, you know what I'm saying? But that sucks. Like, for me, meeting Christ is like the best thing ever, right? And somebody who probably is immature in the faith, maybe, you know, so I give him a little bit of grace with that. But someone who may not have ever even met him, who just goes to church and just has some ideas about what this actually is, versus knowing who he is, did something or said something or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, that sucks. I really don't like that for you. And it's frustrating. It bothers me. It's like you have the best encounter ever, and then, you know what I'm saying, someone screws it up. It's like someone, you know, it's like having the best meal ever, and then someone farts on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to eat that. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to think about that particular meal ever again. They ruin it for them, because all they do is, like, you know, when they see it, they think about farts. It's like, gosh, man. How could you do that to somebody? Again, selfishness. I wanted to express my Christianity at your expense. That's what religion actually is. A bunch of people trying to impress God at someone else's expense. And I'm really, really sorry that actually happened to one of you guys. I would give Christ another shot. Not necessarily stupid people. Because there's stupid people everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just get over it. No matter where you go, humans are the problem. Alright, no matter where you go, humans are going to be the problem. So let's just get over the whole, well, I don't want to, we're weak. Most of us are dumb. Don't know what we're doing. And then pretend to know what we're doing. And then get mad when other people say that you don't know what you're doing, even though you know what you know that you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, I'm sorry. On behalf of whoever, I'm sorry. How can you apologize for someone else's mistakes? Because that's what Jesus did for me on the cross. That's how. So, I'm sorry. I really, really am. And please forgive that person who's not doing anything but hurting you. Person or persons. I know it's fashionable right now to say that, you know, well, no, I don't forgive so-and-so. It's like, well, think about, that's hurting you. That's you letting someone else have power over you for the rest of your life. That's what unforgiveness does. Because it'll manifest itself in a whole lot of foul ways. In behavior and all kinds of weird stuff, dude. So, do that. So, you know, you may want to let that thing go. For your own sake. Life and unforgiveness blows. Straight up. So don't get it twisted. Blows. Just to reiterate. Blows! It's not good for you. Holding on to stuff all the time. Like, come on, y'all. Yeah, but that's, see, these are all the words, everything I've said so far. I spent like 48 minutes rattling on about this stuff because I mentioned the word Christian. For Christians listening, we gotta do better than that. It's kind of like how nerd culture needs to sit down and examine itself, because we look like monsters to other people sometimes. We really do. We look like real freaks of nature sometimes to the outside world. In this community, we look ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of good that's done and everything, you know, but it's more our responsibility to make sure that stuff is pushed out so we look like a credible community, but we just look like just weird. Like we've escaped so much into this thing that we've forgotten that, you know, how to actually be a freaking human being sometimes, you know? And I'm not saying that's all of us, obviously, you know. Like, I live a pretty normal life, I actually know how to talk to people and things like that. But, you know, giving some of these kids, you know, some kind of standards to uphold into the community itself would be nice. It's like, no, we're not going to sit there and spend 45 days on you know, sending death threats and other weird stuff. No, we can't have all that. And make sure that, you know, and all those people in the chat and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, start making threats or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that they get arrested. Like, we can't just have, like, you know, like a community of people that, you know, people are making death threats and doing these weird things and everything, you know what I'm saying? And not, you know, expect to, once that comes out, it's going to reflect on the entire community. Just, like, come on. So I thank the people who actually do uphold standards on their forums and on their page and things like that. I really, really do respect that and I really do appreciate that. But some of this stuff ain't about freedom of speech. Some of this stuff is about being a prick and being, you know, and being held accountable to being a prick. But yeah, that's what it's like. You have a really good community, and then some schmuck messes it up by doing something like what do you call it, swatting or whatever, you know. Just messes it up, and it gets reported on the news. Someone actually died. Someone else got killed doing that. You know. I forgot what case that was. It happened maybe, I think, last year. I was watching Review Tech USA. And yeah, he was telling about someone actually got killed. I was like, dang, man. Hope that guy finds Rich and chill out a little bit more. Now, it's just like, I don't know, just sometimes some weird stuff follows that guy around, and it's kind of like, oh. It's like, Of course, then again, I don't think that's necessarily his fault either, so. I don't know. Ugh. The problem with this is that it's so doggone confusing. About, I think this is another. That's third memory. The other one was fourth memory. Like, I'm having to check these things like twice. Okay, third Hayden. Okay, good. So, all things considered, didn't do too bad on that. But there's one in 04. I need to go back and look at and turn this into something else. Ho, ho, ho. Dad 4, blah, 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 blah. That's at least right there. Okay, that's at least. Oh, okay, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Matters X. Okay. Oh, jeez. Ugh, it's always like little. There's always these little things to check after. Doggone it. So moving on. Oh boy. I don't know why I was going to debate something later on. I hate debates. Not because I don't mind presenting my evidence for something or whatever it may be, but because that it's not about, it's about defending a position. I'm not interested in defending a position. I'm interested in, is it true or not? And if it is true, are you going to follow the evidence wherever it takes you? That's what I'm interested in. Because I've challenged my own faith doing that kind of way. So I'm kind of like, no, I'm not going to just believe it just because, you know what I'm saying? Well, the pastor said, I don't do all that. I want to know for myself. I want to experience it for myself. I want to know if, you know, God's still doing healings and miracles. I want to know all that stuff for myself. I'm not going to just take your word for it. The Bible calls it experiential knowledge. I want to have experiential knowledge. And it's crazy that, you know, we have these like young Christians. See, this is what Paul Washer was saying a while ago. He was saying that all these young Christians, you know, trying to be theologians, and then they don't have any type of experiential knowledge about anything that they're talking about. There's no in the book, but they've never experienced it before. Like, get out of here. So, I'm like, hey, I would like to know. And so, therefore, I'm just not interested in debating people about stuff. I'm like, okay. Now, we can have a conversation, and if in that conversation, whatever comes up, okay, cool. But I'm not trying to hold down a position to hold down a position. I want to be changed in conversations, you know what I'm saying? And I want to change other people through conversations. And I want that for the better, not for the worst. Even though sometimes it looks the same, because sometimes you bring an existential idea to somebody, it's like the whole world dissolves. Because it does dissolve after that. It's like, holy crap, like, it means that my whole life is suddenly changed, and I don't know what to do with this. And rightly so. Jeez. This crazy stuff happens. Like, oh my god. But I'm just not down with anything less than that. I'm like, nah, bruh. I don't want to debate you. I especially don't want to do it online. I think there's no bigger waste of time than debating online. Because that's where, you know, you're out in the public sphere amongst thousands and thousands of people, you know what I'm saying? You think you're going to let your ego slide and entertain and, like, let this person, you know what I'm saying, like, cut you down in front of everybody like that? No. It's where you're going to go down to double down on your arguments, no matter if, even if you know that they're wrong. So why are you debating people online? Like, that's a waste of time. Just going to double down the arguments and try to win the argument. You know? So you're going to spend an hour of your day debating people online? No. Water. That says something more about you than it does about how stupid you think someone else's argument is or whatever. That says a lot about you and about how much time that you're actually wasting in what you don't know what to do with your life. Debating online. No one's going to change their minds online. So I guess maybe, you know, you can make the argument saying that, you know, well, it's an idea or a position and it's been defended. Even the person on the other end of it does not concede to that. Maybe someone will read it and then maybe they can concede to that idea as well or whatever it may be. And I get that, I guess, you know, but I don't know, man. Nothing like face-to-face communication. You start getting rid of dimensions of communication, which is face, tone of voice, things like that, you know. Sorry, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, people in the Oval Office aren't, like, necessarily, you know, texting each other. You know, no, like, have a face-to-face with the president. Have a face-to-face with the chief of staff. Have a face-to-face with these people, you know. Why? Because all those dimensions of communication are vitally important when you're communicating an idea. And these ideas can't get screwed up. Even though they get screwed up all the time. But that's the point. So, yeah. I ain't debating the issue. So the real reason is because you're afraid to defend your argument. It's like, no, I promise you that can be the furthest thing from the truth. Furthest thing from the truth. I give 0 Fs. I'm like, look, if you want me to, I'm willing to do this. If you want me to drive to where you're at and prove God, I'm not going to do that. To show God's love for you, show His love for you, I'll do that. I want to be no debates about it, nothing like that. It's going to be what it is. Give a fork? I might have to do that sometime, Scott. What's going on, Scott Jacobson? I was talking about the futility that I think that is debating online. Well, Scott, at least you got something to listen to. It's kind of like being your radio DJ. Your tremendous radio DJ who is the best, believe me. I'm the most tremendous DJ of all. Well, we can listen to it later. I still love your face, Scott. And thank you so much for recommending those people to me. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's give Scott Jacobson a round of applause. I'm actually doing it around. That's why you hear it differently shifting in terms of the volume of this thing happening. Anyway, so yeah, I like changing lives more than I like, you know, defending positions. That's why I make games. I want to make games to change people's lives. Legit. That's what I want to do. Dang it. This is such a pain in the fanny right now. Alright, let's go ahead and stick this thing right here. And yes, guys, we might have to do that one day. Let me know. Let me know. Because as much as I like to rant and rave about whatever I'm ranting and raving about, you know, it might also be helpful too to have some grad students talk about some things. Tremendous things that made with Chinese steel. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm going to stop. Really, I'm gonna stop. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna start again, but I'll stop. Yeah, we'll do that sometime. That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun for the viewers too. All few of you. Well, at least according to YouTube. Watch Me Twerk. I mean, Watch Me Work has been a very nice audience so far, and I love you guys. I love your faces. I'm right now hitting people up in the Watch Me Work network. Really cool site. Really cool site. Okay, there we go. Oh crap, I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was doing. Okay. I should really probably not do that too many times. Sam, what was I doing? I don't know. Did you know that Wu-Tang is for the children? Okay, I just missed that one. Chicken check. All right. Might be wrapping things up here pretty soon. Guys. I always get nervous about like playing a longer stream because sometimes like it might be like a drum sample or something like that that, you know, have some kind of weird copy, or I don't know, just something stupid. I think it's loud enough now to where, you know what I'm saying, people can't mistake what it actually is or is not. That was really annoying for a while. Do. Wait, are you? You're here? How do I miss this? Making me talk in the high pitched voice. I don't know why you're doing it. Hmm. Let's see. I've unfudged some of these things, so now I need to... How did I miss all these? Ugh. Um... Why am I keep messing with people all the time? Alright, I'm gonna be wrapping this thing up here pretty soon. Because I'm just kind of chatting away about the watch me work. Oh, she is just a peach. I think this person's a girl. We're bonding. I like to watch me work because like it has so many people that are just kind of like dedicated. That's good. I approve of this message. This is CNN. Oh. I love this track too. It's me and my homeboy David McKee of Very Extreme Core on SoundCloud. Check him out now. We made this song together. It was a worship song. Man, those were good times, man. Those were good times. hopefully to start again soon. All right. Yeah, I just missed all these of the blue treasures, so now it's throwing me off. I'm going to maybe come up with a better way to do this. Because this is not cute, okay? Alright. This one's still wrong. Bob Saget. I'm gonna come up with a much better way to do this in terms of keeping maintenance up. Because this would have been a disaster, and then my game wouldn't work, and that would make me angry. So I'm trying to be done, y'all. Dang. Let's see. I think I have 2 of these in here. It's Mom. Hayden. Plaque is in 5. Surrogate. Plaque. Okay. Change to something else then. And that's the wrong switch. That's just totally wrong. Okay, never mind. No. What did this turn into? Time blankets. Oh. I have Aladdin, the first song stuck in my head. No, second song. Gotta keep one stroke, head red line, one string, head soul. I still one four. For some reason, I have no idea why. I've been thinking about Aladdin. None of that stuff. But I'm just in my head all of a sudden. Couldn't tell you why. Tell me why. Yeah. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Okay, so I really don't have a whole lot on this particular floor. Okay. Alright, I think that Harris's world building stuff is done. The further I go up on this thing, the buggier it gets, though. Ugh. Awful! Awful! I was hoping to work out all the bugs, so I had to go back over and do exactly what I'm doing, but whatever. I'm over it! I'm just over it. Right now. Oh my gosh. Let's see if alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for today. Pew! Whoop! So, you can find out ways to join me, or not join me. Yeah, join me, I guess. And links in the description below. It's a new show coming out. A couple of new shows coming out here pretty soon. And I'm excited about that. And yeah. You can also find out ways to support this particular project right here called Release. In the links below, there's a Patreon to support it as well, to find colorists and things like that. So really excited about that. That's been going on for quite some time. Getting closer to our goal, so that's really freaking cool. Yeah. But thanks again, Scott, for joining me, and hope to see you guys, Lord willing, in the next video. So take care, stay blessed, and bye bye.